for today's panel discussion. We're celebrating the month of August is WNBA Fit Month. So today we've got some incredible panelists. I'm your moderator, Brandy Poole. I'm one of the assistant coaches, and just want to say welcome. We're going to talk a little bit today about physical health, about mental health, and just overall well-being. But first, let me introduce you to our panelists. Next to me, we have Annalise Rios, our strength and conditioning coach. On the end is Nicole Alexander, our head athletic trainer. And in the middle here, our special guest, Stephanie Jones, our rookie, and one of our very own Connecticut Sun players. We are recording this Zoom today, so if anybody wants to access that, you will be able to do that. But let's dive right in. So we're talking about mental and physical health, promoting health and wellness. And I'd like to know from each one of you, like, what does health and wellness mean to you?
So health and wellness for me is not just physical health, but also mental health and overall health. Just feeling good about where you are at. Yeah, I think that's it. Feeling good.
Exactly.
Yeah, just to go off what Annalise said, for me, it's just being mentally and physically prepared, like on the court, and being like feeling good off the court too. Because if you're in a good mental space, then your physical abilities will follow.
Just really to piggyback on all of that is I phrase it as taking care of your body, whatever that means, whether it's going for a walk or going for a run or sitting outside, just whatever you need to take care of your body, because that's the only one you have.
Excellent answers. For me, it's about balance. And I think we'll talk a little bit about that today. But so Annalise and Nicole, this is for you. You both work directly with our athletes on a daily basis. And so for some of our younger viewers out there today that want to improve their fitness level, what advice would you give them as they're starting on their careers?
I would say one of the things I always tell my athletes is be consistent. No matter what you do or what level you're at or how many minutes a day you want to work out, be consistent, follow a plan, and then you'll start seeing some results with that consistency. And on top of that, just listen to your body. Like what your friend does as their workout is not going to be the best for you, or what a friend who plays a different sport than you has for their workout is not going to be the best for you. So just find what works for you, for your goals, for your sport, and then be consistent with that.
I would say be dedicated to the process and know that it's not going to be easy. There's going to be a lot of changes. Know that there's going to be hard days and hard moments. And as long as you stay dedicated to that, you're going to be able to get through those, and they're not going to be as much of a deterrent for you. So you have to make that decision when you're starting, that you're, along with being consistent, you're staying dedicated to the process.
And I think that's good advice for young athletes and for us older people that want to continue to be healthy and have a balanced lifestyle. So Steph, this question's for you. You're lucky to be surrounded by incredible veterans on our team who have had long careers in the WNBA. Jasmine Thomas, Breon January have played over 10 years in this league. And part of the longevity of being in the W is taking care of your body and your fitness level. So as a rookie starting out, what is some of the best advice you've gotten from your veteran teammates to having a long career and being in the best shape and continuing to grow?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is definitely work plus rest equals success. So I think that Bree and Jazz definitely take recovery very seriously. And like, it's just a big part of the routine because like stretching, anything, like they play a lot of minutes. So being able to recover your body after like a long game is very important to be able to continue that.
Absolutely. We look forward to you having a long career too. We'll come back to you in 10 or 11 years. So keeping the players healthy, Nicole, is a big part of your job, because obviously us as coaches can't do our job if we don't have healthy players on the court. And so you have a big responsibility, but what are some of the things that you feel like you do to keep our players feeling good, to help them when they do have an injury, knock on wood, get them back on the floor as quickly as possible? And just talk to us a little bit about your responsibilities.
I think, as Steph mentioned, recovery is huge in what we do, especially at this level and with us having a veteran team. But part of that is tailoring recovery to the individual. I'm not going to have the same treatment plan for Natisha Heidemann as I would for JJ, but also not necessarily for Steph or her sister. So really just listening to them and knowing how their body works is very important. If they do get an injury, again, it's knowing how their body works and how they're going to best respond to the best treatment, but also knowing how they moved before they got injured, and being at practice every day. Knowing where they started is a huge part in getting them back to where they need to be. Because if I had absolutely no idea, then I could be like, oh, just do some stretches. And they're like, well, I do that every day and it feels fine. So it's really just being aware of the bigger picture and not just treating their injury, but just looking at everything top to bottom to make sure everything comes back together so that they can go back to the court seamlessly, and working with the coaches, say, hey, today they're going to do this drill in practice. But if she has any issues, we can do that. So it's all about not only that part, but the communicating with the athletes, communicating with the coaches, what we're doing to progress them and get them back.
Thanks, Nicole. She has been a rock star for us and takes such great care of our players. I'm sure Steph can attest to that. We keep her pretty busy, especially when we're in this stretch of playing every other day. It's a tremendous amount of stress on their bodies. And I know you've heard the word recovery a lot, and that's probably because we are in recovery mode right now after our big win last night and then preparing for a tough LA team tomorrow. But Annalise, so you're going to take us through a short workout at the end of this, which I know we're all looking forward to. But what would your advice to people that are out there that are starting, that want to be in better physical health, that want to make better choices, that just want to be more healthier? Like, what would your advice be to people that are just kind of starting out on a fitness routine?
Well, two things. I think I've mentioned this one before: the be consistent, find something and stick to it for a little bit and see how you feel. And then the other one is listen to your body. Again, we don't all need the same workout. We will all feel differently after, even if we do the same workout, we'll all feel different afterwards. So really listen to your body and know what works for you. And at the same time, give yourself, cut yourself some slack too. If one day you wake up and you're super sore, work on mobility, work on stretching, work on going for a walk and relaxing. There's no need to go 100% every single day because, like Steph said, work plus rest equals success. So you do need those recovery days. You do need those easier days. So just find what works for your body.
I think that's good. And we've heard Annalise say consistent, be consistent. And I know probably for most of you out there, for me, that is my biggest struggle. You know, you get into work or you get into school and you get busy. And like, for me, my workout is the first thing to go. And then, you know, I don't feel great about that, because I know when I am consistent and I am working out, I feel better all around, and I'm a more productive person. So I think that is such great advice, and I need her in my ear every day saying that.
I can do that.
Thank you. Steph, back to you. How do you think transitioning, obviously you've been a longtime athlete, transitioning from high school to college to now playing at the highest level, how have your habits and your consistency been and your choices helped you to achieve your goal of playing in the WNBA?
Yeah, well, coming out of high school, I tore my ACL. So that was a big part of my fitness and focusing on like my mechanics. And I think that really helped me, like, especially in college, just going to another level, being able to like understand my body more. And yeah, just focusing on that, being able to get my physical self like to where I need to be able to compete.
Right. Great job. So sometimes we all want to eat healthy, and I know I struggle with this, especially as we go on the road and we travel. But Annalise or anyone can answer this question. What's a good start to start making better, healthier choices? Any substitutions that can help people? Because we all know, and I'll let Annalie speak to this, but fueling our bodies is just important as the physical fitness that we do, our running, our walking, our workouts. Fueling our body is just as important. I know Annalise is always here making shakes for our players for after practice, making sure they're getting fueled up and helping them make choices on the road. But what is your advice to people that maybe are just starting out and need to start making healthier choices?
Again, it's finding what works for your body, and really taking the time to listen to your body. Like after take some time and have a meal, and then see how you feel right after it. See how you feel 2 hours after. See how you feel the next day and how that meal has affected your sleep. And then add more of that stuff into your daily diet. I mean, fueling is so important. What we put into our bodies is what we will be able to get out of it. So it's important to eat those extra vegetables and that extra serving of fruit, because that's what your body is kind of craving, all those nutrients, and making sure that we fuel it correctly.
Would you give different advice to athletes that are expending an exorbitant amount of calories, like the more smaller meals during the day, as opposed to somebody like us as older people that are working, all day and maybe not as expending as much calories, but or just people trying to get in better shape? What advice would you give? Like, is that a different meal plan?
Yeah, I mean, there are so many things out there that say you should have this amount of this number of calories, or your plate should look like this, but it's not necessarily what works for everyone. So for example, for my professional athletes, like, they need a lot of food. And if you would put all the food that they eat in a day, like, you would be surprised at how much they eat, but that's what their body needs in order to perform on the court like they need to. So yeah, it is totally different from person to person. And as I've said before, just like find what works for you, what makes you feel good, and add more of those things into your daily diet. Yeah.
I would just add on to that too, to make gradual changes. I think sometimes with anyone starting a new fitness plan, you think that you have to go to the extreme to get any results. But in the thought of being consistent, add a little bit more vegetables to what you're already eating, add a little bit more fruit to what you're already eating, rather than trying to cut something out cold turkey. That those things are going to be harder for you to keep up if you just say, I can't have this, and you deem that food as bad. It kind of turns your whole fitness journey into a negative connotation. So if you're just making those small changes and then you start seeing the results of that, then those small changes become medium changes, and then the medium changes become big changes. So just when you're starting out, whether it's working out or a nutrition plan, just think small, celebrate the small victories, and it's going to take you a lot further than a 180 change.
I think that's such great advice. And I know it, again, going back to, it's about balance, right? Like, I try to make really good choices, but you know what? I love ice cream and I don't want to deprive myself of that. So once a week, treat yourself. It's all about having some good balance in our choices. Steph, talk a little bit about your nutrition, how you do you eat out a lot? Do you cook a lot? Like, how do you fuel your body right now during this tough stretch of the season?
Yeah, well, now that we're home, I definitely try to cook more. So me and Bree will make dinner a lot. And yeah, that's really the biggest thing. We try to focus on eating pasta, lots of pasta, salmon, chicken, rice, stuff like that. Lots of vegetables too, and fruit.
Wait, now, are you doing the cooking or is Breezy doing the cooking?
We don't talk about it. Well, I cook for myself, so yeah.
I hope you made her all-star dinner though, right?
She loves cooking. She loves cooking. So.
They're all so talented. Anything else on the topic of that or nutrition?
I think Nicole touched on this a little bit, but just kind of piggybacking off of it, it's so important to make those small changes and start small. And again, like, cut yourself some slack, because You don't want to say, I'm doing this and I'm going to do it for 30 days. And then you mess up or eat a bad food on like day 5 and you're like, oh, I'm done. But instead, like, start the next day is a new day.
Or even the next meal.
Or next meal.
It
Exactly.
doesn't have to be the next day, the next meal.
Yep.
I think that's such great advice for everyone. And I know if y'all don't follow Annalise on Instagram during quarantine, like Annalise would get up every day and do a 10-minute workout. And she's like, this is all you need. This is all you need. Now it kicked my butt, but man, it was great. And just that 10 minutes can do so much for you.
You'll get a sneak peek of it after.
Yeah, you're in for a treat. So let's switch topics a little bit. And I know mental health has been such a big topic of conversation lately, and it's a big topic of conversation for all of us as we've been living in this crazy world that we've been living in recently, especially. But talk to me a little bit, each of you, about kind of what mental health means to you, and maybe some of the self-care or things that you do to take care of yourself mentally.
I'm going to jump in here as the quote unquote medical professional. I think it's important to know that mental health is health. It doesn't have to be in its own category. When we talked about in the beginning about health and wellness and taking care of your body, that's head to toe, fingertip to fingertip, and everything in between. So knowing that, and looking at it that way, it's easier to take care of yourself. And from a medical perspective, if somebody has an injury to their knee or their ankle and they're not moving how they should be, it's easier for the outside world to be like, oh, it's because of such and such. It's because of this injury. But if someone is struggling mental health wise, it's a lot harder for those of us on the outside to be sensitive to that and to be aware of that. So it's important for you to speak up for yourself, and also take care of yourself, self-care. And self-care can be simple as sitting out inside in the sun. I personally am an introvert at my core. And when you're in this environment and when you're in season, there's a lot of people time. So for me, if I don't get a little bit of non-people time where I'm just home by myself working on a puzzle, I struggle to, that's how I re-energize. So just knowing what you need to do for yourself. And if those things don't work for you, use your resources to reach out and find out people in your circle, in your community, that can help you. I hope I didn't steal everybody else's answer, but that's kind of the basis
that was
for
fantastic.
it.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, well, I think that no matter what you do, it's always good to take a step back for yourself and really do something for yourself. And especially for me as an athlete, like no matter what goes on in a game or practice, like if I make a bad play, I'm gonna it's always good to be able to move on to the next play to make another impact. So just always keeping that kind of mindset. It's a big part of being able to perform at your best.
And I was just going to say, I mean, they said it beautifully, but like mental health is health, and you just need to take care of your body and find what works for you. I mean, like, I know that if I'm feeling overwhelmed or struggling a little bit, I go for a run, and that calms me right down and makes me feel good. But that works for me. It doesn't work for everybody else. So like find that thing that helps you, and also like reach out to your circle, like reach out to a coach, a teacher, a friend, a family member, go to therapy, do what you need to do to take care of yourself.
I think that's great advice, and so important for us as we get into the grind of our daily lives, and we are better at all of our jobs, whatever they may be, and we're better partners, we're better friends, we're better family members, we're better workers when we take care of ourselves. And what does that look like for Annalise? Yeah, it's running. It's no people days. For me, it's just sitting on my deck and reading a book, having a glass of wine, just something to unwind and take care of myself. Steph, what do you like to do to take care of yourself when you need a little self-care?
I'll definitely go hang out with Bray, kind of just talk, or I'll just sit and watch TV, coloring is fun.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Coloring
Yeah.
and puzzles, man. I'm telling
Coloring and
you.
puzzles. Yes,
Puzzles
something
are
to
awesome.
kind of get your mind off of what you're doing and really just take a step back. Maybe like go get your nails done or something. Go shopping, something like that.
I think it's so important. And I know I'll let you guys in on a little secret. As a coaching staff, we have started this year before we start our staff meetings. And sometimes they're early in the mornings, and it's quick turnarounds. But we've been dedicated to meditating for 10 minutes as a coaching staff before every staff meeting. And that's never been a huge thing for me, but it's been really eye-opening and just a way to center ourselves, and my mind still wanders, and they're like, that's okay. But to start our day and get on the right path. And so there's so many different things out there and so many different resources that you can access. But like Nicole said, please don't be afraid to reach out, to talk to somebody, because, this has been a lot this past year or so, and we all have to take good care of ourselves. So before we move on, give me 2 or 3 things from each of you that you think when it comes to overall health and wellness, like your best pieces of advice.
I would say individualize it. Know that what works for you may not work for even your sibling or your parent. So individualize it and work within your range. Don't try to do too much, and just keep it simple.
Yeah, I was gonna kind of say what Nicole said, like, don't compare yourself to others, and yeah, just kind of go at your own pace. Know that you're just different from other people and you may not get there as fast.
Be consistent and listen to your body.
All such great advice. And we've all heard the
What's
comparison
yours?
is the thief of joy, right?
What's
yours?
I get,
Oh,
Oh,
just making sure you.
I was gonna say, I can't watch Annalise do push-ups and then over here, me down on my knees, barely doing the push-ups. So
It's
I cannot
okay. It's
compare
whatever
myself
works
to
for you.
Annalise. But I agree with him. It's the small little things, and then granting yourself some grace when you do miss a workout or you do, splurge on that burger and fries. Like it's okay, to every now and again, and grant yourself some grace, and know that you can make a better choice next time, and whatever feels good to you. Okay. Oh, we've got questions. That's great. What have you got for us, Morgan? That's a great question.
That is a really good question. The question was, as an athletic trainer, how do you incorporate the mental health of an athlete coming back from injury? The first thing I would say is getting to know your athlete and finding out where they are in the process, and having those conversations, but also encouraging them to seek performance therapy. Sports psychologists are huge, and because it's not just about the physical part of it and getting back functional. What happens a lot of time as an athlete is your sport becomes a part of your identity, truly. And so when that's taken away from you, there's so many other things that the dominoes fall. It's the domino effect. And so making sure that they remember that, one, they are still a full functioning human being, even if they are not able to participate in their sport at the moment, but also this is a part of the process, and that they are going to get back to where they were. And that's where we talked about the process, and there's going to be good days and bad days. And it's hard as an athletic trainer to, one, see an athlete go from the top of their game to not being able to do anything, but also on those bad days. So really just a lot of talk, a lot of encouragement, but also acknowledging that what they're feeling, and making sure that they know that that they're not alone in feeling that. And that is also a normal part of the process.
I think the WNBA has done such a great job. There's a lot of you don't know, but behind the scenes, there's a whole, the WNBA is stepped up with all sorts of resources for our players to access this. And many of you don't know Avi's story. I'm going to give him a shout out as our player development guy. He has really taken on the role of this holistic approach with our players and their mental health. So it's not just about developing them as players, but developing their mental health and them socially and like off the court for what they may want to do when the ball does stop bouncing. And they all have this identity crisis because their sport has identified them. Right. So the league as a whole, and then player development, Avi does a great job incorporating that and getting those resources available to our players.
What's that for me? The question was, what does daily motivation look like from a training perspective? I think, I'm a huge proponent of take those 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes a day. even if we're busy with school, with work, you can always like carve out those 10 minutes, and in those 10 minutes do something that makes you feel good, whether it's going for a walk or a 10-minute run or a series of push-ups and squats or whatever. Whatever feels good for you, take that time to do those 10 minutes. If at the end of those 10 minutes you feel great now, continue that workout, and that was kind of like your pre-workout workout. But if not, then you've moved for the day, so like daily motivation is just like, know that if you do something for 10 minutes, I can almost guarantee you that you'll feel better after those 10 minutes.
I think Annalise's daily motivation is just showing up with her energy every day, because I mean, ask Steph today, probably it was a quick turnaround. We were back in film this morning, preparing for LA. And I guarantee you, we had a lot of sore, tired people, but Annalise brings her energy, and that in and of itself has got to be a motivator for the players. I don't want to speak for you, Steph, but
No, definitely. Definitely.
I think that's a big part of it.
Good. All right.
Any more questions? All right.
think that
Well,
may be
I
it.
appreciate all of you guys being here. We're going to clear the chairs, and I hope you guys can find a comfortable spot wherever you are to enjoy this workout from Annalise. She'll explain it and take you through it. Nicole's going to do some modifications for people. I'm going to sideline report
There
as
you go.
we watch Annalise take us through this
Perfect.
workout.
Do I hold this the whole time? Okay. All right. Are we still live? Oh, hi everyone. All right. Yeah, not yet. We'll do a warm up first. All right. So now that the chairs are all cleared and we're ready to begin this workout, we are going to start off by just moving our body, getting a good stretch in. So the first one we'll do, Steph is probably very familiar with it, is the heel to butt with a reach up high. And you're just going to do that 3 times on each side. I like to get up on my toe a little bit. Kind of feel that stretch. So 3 on each side. Perfect. And then you're going to do a knee hug. So hug that knee to your chest as far as you can. And let's do 3 of those on each side as well. Just getting our legs moving. We've been sitting for a bit. Those of you on Zoom are probably sitting too. All right. So from there, we're going to get some book openers, hands out in front, feet pointed forward. You're going to open up to one side. I love that the whole camera crew is doing this with me too. Pretend there's a camera on your chest, and you're going to take a picture of what's next to you and just get that good rotation in. 3 on each side as well. Perfect. I lost count, but here it is. All right. Then we're going to do our zombie squat. So hands out in front, and we're going to squat down. And then as you stand up, look through your legs and then stand all the way up. All right. So squat down, look through your legs and stand up. Let's do one more. Squat down. I love it, guys. This is like a whole exercise class training. This is awesome. All right. Then we're going to do some leg kickouts. So kick out one leg, opposite hand to the opposite toe. Kind of get a little step in there, maybe a little jog. Good. And now we're going to do one that's called a drop step skip. So you're just going to open up and get a little pattern going, get those hips going. There it is.
Slow down.
Good. Slow down version. Right there. No jumping. Perfect. Open up those hips. All right. Everyone's familiar with jumping jacks. So we're going to get 10 of those jumping jacks. Here we go. Nice and big. 3. All right. And then 5 of these that I call predator jacks. I can never say it. So right here, nice and wide. Think a big like Tyrannosaurus Rex or some predator. Right here. Open up and down. Open up and down. All right. 5 of those. Here we go. Perfect. All right. So now we're gonna get into the workout part of it. And Morgan has the timer. so don't start it yet. There will be 4 exercises. We're gonna go through 2 rounds of it, 30 seconds on, and then a 30-second rest. So I'll explain the exercise as they come up, and then I'll also give you a modification. And if you want an advanced version, I will also show you what to do. But first advanced version, first exercise is going to be a drop squat, 4 drop squats, and then 4 high knees. So it looks like this, and I'll do, this is the regular version, drop down, touch the ground, drop with the other hand. So I would do 4 of those, and then I would go into 4 high knees on each side, so 8 total. The modified version is a squat. So you're doing 4 squats right here, and then you're driving your knees up 8 times, 4 on each side. All right, so you can start the timer. I think we have a 7-second countdown. So you have a, here we go in 3, 2, 1, and begin. Here we go. So you're doing 4 of these, and then get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect, and then right back into it. Good, we have 17 seconds left. Go at your own pace, modify however you need. 4, and then high knees. 5 seconds, here it is. Good, and rest. All right, awesome. The next one, we're gonna go down on the ground in a plank position. I'll show you the modified version in a second, but you're down on the ground. You're going to do shoulder tap, shoulder tap, shoulder tap. Advanced version is gonna be Steph back there. She's gonna do push up, shoulder tap, push up, shoulder tap. And modified version, if you need to pause it. Okay, perfect. Modified version is going to be, you can put your knees down for that plank, and you're going to do your shoulder tap with your knees down. All right, so 30 seconds on the clock. Okay, perfect. We still have 10 seconds rest. Time has paused. All right, here we go in 3, 2, 1, and begin. Shoulder tap, shoulder tap. Advanced version is that push up with the shoulder tap, and modified is on your knees. We have 17 seconds. I don't know how I always look at. I didn't only have 17 seconds. All right, keep going, keep going. 7 more seconds, you got this. 2, 1, and relax. All right, we're standing back up again. This next one, we're gonna do some skaters. So jumping from side to side, land nice and soft. That is the regular version. Modified version, you're gonna do a lateral lunge. Bring it together, lateral lunge the other way. All right, and we're gonna go through that for 30 seconds. And we have 10 more seconds. Okay, you know me, you know I like to talk. All right, here we go in 2, 1, and begin. So you can either jump from one side to the other, or you can do some lateral lunges. Yeah, get that nice little movement going. 19 seconds, got this. And that modified version in the back, lateral lunges, side to side. Here we go, 7 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, and the last exercise is something called a dead bug. So you're gonna lay on your back, knees up, arms up, and you're going to extend opposite leg, opposite arm, and do that for 15 seconds, and then we'll get the other side. One thing I like to say is pretend it's a really windy day. There's $100 right under your back. Don't let that fly away. All right, how much time? We have 8 seconds before we begin. So get into your dead bug position. Think about that $100 bill right here. 3, 2, 1, and begin. All right, perfect. Thanks for me. And then you can, yeah, we can do all on one side for 15. And the more pressure you put against your knee, the more you'll feel it. Here we go, and switch to the other side. So press against that knee as you reach, but don't forget that $100. 2, 1, and relax. All right, we got through all 4. We're gonna do that one more time. Is that good? We're still on time? Perfect. So we are back to, yeah, and you can just let it run because now I don't need to explain it. And we are back to the first one, which is that little drop squat with the high knees. All right. We still have 17 seconds.
That's your number.
So, I guess it is. Maybe that's how many push-ups Bree, Jan, and I need to do.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, and begin. Drop squat. Remember, you're doing 4 of these, and then high knees. I lost count, and back down. And then modified in the back. We have those squats, and then those knee drives. Good, keep it going, keep it going. 10 seconds. Perfect. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Awesome. All right, our next one are those shoulder taps. And again, with this one, try to keep your back as stable as possible. So pretend that you have a glass of water balancing on the small of your back and you don't want it to spill. All right. So we can start getting down. We have 10 more seconds rest. Then we're going right into it. Remember your modifications, do what works for you. We have 3, 2, 1, and begin. So you can do the push up and the tap. You can do simply the tap, or you can do the tap with your knees down. Or you can do a combination of all of them. Whatever works for you. 15 seconds. Six, 2, 1, and relax. All right. What was the next one? Oh, lateral lunges. Or
You don't.
skaters. I know. So we have the skaters, and on the skaters, now since we have 17 seconds of rest still, on the skaters, try to, as you're jumping, land as soft as you can. So you jump over to one side and land super soft, jump to the other side, land soft. Here we go, 3, 2, 1, and begin. So land nice and soft, there it is. Good. Find that balance. Oh yeah, we still have some people working out here in the back.
They even brought a spot.
I know, that's awesome. 10 more seconds. Here we go. Keep it going, keep it going. 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, dead bugs. Last one, and then we get a nice little stretch at the end. So remember, the more pressure you put against your knee, think about driving your knee toward your chest and try to push it away at the same time, the more you'll activate your core. We have 10 seconds, so just, relax. All right, here it is, and Morgan will tell us when it's 15 seconds. And begin. Extend, crunch it in. Press against that leg. All right, and switch it up. Two, 1, and rest. All right, and you did it. You made it through 8 minutes of solid work, plus a little warm up at the beginning. We will have a little cool down stretch. So everyone grab some water, towel off if you need to. I'm definitely sweating.
Hydration is
Oh,
important.
thank you. Hydration is super important. All right. Okay, So in order to cool down, we're gonna go through 2 stretches. These are probably my favorite ones. We're gonna start off on our hands and knees, and you're going to lunge 1 foot forward. So this is called the world's greatest stretch. I also call it the spider stretch. Sometimes you can have, I'll show you this way, you can have your knee off the ground. For that final stretch, I kind of like it on the ground here. So go ahead and get into the spider stretch position. You're gonna drop that elbow as far as you can, and then open up. Get that rotation in. So drop again, and open. Control your breathing. Open, nice. And then from here, you're gonna rock back, pull that toe up, sit back on that foot, and get a good hamstring and calf stretch. Awesome, back to both knees down. And now let's get that other side. So big lunge forward, drop, and rotate. So as I'm doing this, I feel this side being a lot tighter than my other side. So I know I need to work on some mobility and stretching after on this side. All right, awesome. And then we're gonna do our heel sit or child's pose. So reach out in front as you sit back on your heels. And from here, you're gonna extend and look up at the sky or the ceiling, then peek over one shoulder and peek over the other shoulder. And then you can do that again. So heel sit into cobra, look up, peek, peek, and do that 3 times. All right. And that is it. How do you guys feel? Good. Good. High fives for everyone. High fives virtually over there. Thank you, camera crew, for joining.
That was
All
great.
right.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Annalise.
of
Thank you
course.
for everybody who participated today. We so appreciate you guys logging in, joining us to celebrate August and the WNBA Fit Month. And we wish you all the best of luck in your healthy journeys. Take care of yourself, make good choices, be consistent. And we look forward to seeing you guys hopefully in the stands soon at a game here at Mohegan Sun. Go Sun.